Hello and welcome to Star Television on Channel 21. This is the national news. We're broadcasting live across the country from our Media One Center Studio at number 3 Mama Street, Goldfields in Freetown. First, the headlines. The Director General of the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, Dr. James Edwin, has outlined the key mandates of the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate.
We don't concentrate on those problems. We're trying to get the data in. And so we've started engaging with the MDAs to provide us data on all those projects.
The Executive Secretary of the African Peer Review Mechanism in Sierra Leone, Dr. Charles Silva, has said the appointment of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio as the new chairman of the African Peer Review Mechanism is a demonstration of the government's commitment in upholding good governance and human rights.
Gradually being recognized by other people. And that cannot be unconnected with President Bio's commitments to good governance, democracy, and what have you. Mind you, he has done a lot of things that are actually exemplary. It is not uncommon on the continent.
The district coordinator of Women's Forum Sierra Leone in the Western Area Rural District, Doris Fatima Weber, has officially launched the Wonders Sisters Social Club.
And for them you see young women then get themselves together, say, let them form themselves into a group, when for begin look into woman and girl in a business in this community. It shows say the woman then inside the Western Area who are listening, especially in the guy water community, don't begin forget awareness.
And in sports, the Brookfields United veterans have been crowned champions in a 2-day gala competition. Those were the headlines. Welcome back, and now for the news in detail. I am Yesi Ernest Howell. The Director General of the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate, NAMED, Dr. James Edwin, has said the key mandates of the National Monitoring and Evaluation Directorate is to strengthen and institutionalize monitoring and evaluation of government policies, programs, and projects for result. He spoke more to Abdul Rahman Kamara in this interview.
So reminded by concentrate on the key, as you rightly pointed out. It's to monitor and evaluate all projects, programs, and policies of the government of Sierra Leone and our donors or other development partners. The key challenge is data. Data is what you use, analyze the situation, and get evidence out of that, which can be utilized by the donors and by government for decision making. When this institution was established, we had an analysis of all the ministries, a percentage of the ministries, departments, and agencies, to see how much data we have on the over 200 projects that Parliament approves almost every year. And to our surprise, only donor-funded projects do have, for example, a full proposal about a project. And so we found that it's fairly difficult to determine whether a project is delivering or not if you don't have information on the project. Or what you have is the title of the project and the money attached to it that is disbursed by the Ministry of Finance. So we are having a great problem with that. However, we don't concentrate on those problems. We're trying to get the data in. And so we've started engaging with the MDAs to provide us data on all those projects. And one way to do that is to provide templates that they can use to fill in information that we can extract, analyze, and produce results for the government to know what is happening in this country. We are in that stage now. To help us do that easily, because of the amount of projects that we have outside, we have established a system we call NAMIMS. That's the National Monitoring and Evaluation Management Information System. This is what you just meant me looking at. If you look at this, it's right there. you can see most of the projects that we'll be looking at. If we want to analyze one project, we need information. You cannot get those graphs, for example. You cannot get those projects on the map, for example, if you don't have data for them. So we are working to get those things. One way to do that is to get them to fill a template we call a project profile, which tells us the title of the project and the amount of money that has been allocated to that project and the results that you have to achieve, including some of the constraints and beneficiaries that will be benefiting from that project. So we are at that stage of filling that stuff. Filling NAMEMIS for the 2022 financial year. It's a bond. The Office of the Chief Minister supervises my office with direct mandate from the President himself, Dr. Julius Maada Bio. What we do as data collectors, what we do as people who analyze the data, what we get from that collection of data and analysis of the data feeds into what the Chief Minister does. He's using that data to make decisions at cabinet level, decisions for supervising the ministries, departments, and agencies, and maybe decisions in making financial allocation to the MDAs. So the bond between myself, NAMED, and the Chief Minister's office is to provide this data that the Chief Minister can use for evidence-based decision making. Not just decision making, but evidence-based decision making. And that evidence is gathered from us. We are trying to put NAMED in the center of every arm of government. The legislature. We've met with parliamentarians. The oversight body for finance. We've discussed with them. They are ready to partner with us. We've talked with representatives of chiefs in parliament. They are ready to partner with us. So parliament is a place that we want to sit and centralize our activities so that they know what we are doing and they can help us get what we want for the betterment of this country. The office of the president, the executive arm of it, there we sit, supervised directly by the president himself through the chief minister and the NAMED lead. We have commitment from the president himself and the chief minister as a member of the foundation for what we have today as NAMED. And of course, we have an ambassador there that advises us on how to do things. So we are central too in the executive.
The Executive Secretary of the African Peer Review Mechanism in Sierra Leone, Dr. Charles Silva, has said the appointment of His Excellency President Julius Maada Bio as the new chairman of the African Peer Review Mechanism Forum of Heads of State is a demonstration of the government's unwavering commitment in upholding good governance and human rights. Alfie Barry tells us more.
African Peer Review Mechanism Forum of Heads of State is the highest decision-making body. President Bio being endorsed as the new chair by his peers for the next 2 years, according to the Executive Secretary of the APRM Sierra Leone, Dr. Charles Silva, is a clear pointer to his unwavering commitment in upholding APRM's activities.
Yes, I want to join other Sierra Leoneans to congratulate him. Although we have not heard from him, but the news is everywhere, and I think that is good news to share. But his appointment, President Bio's appointment to serve as chair of the APRM Forum of Heads of States is a very successful news for Sierra Leone. Because mind you, given our own current situation, I think one of the revelations from that is that we are gradually being recognized by other people. And that cannot be unconnected with President Bio's commitment to good governance, democracy, and what have you. Mind you, he has done a lot of things that are actually exemplary. It is not uncommon on the continent. When we consider, for instance, the repeal of the seditious libel law, quite recently we are even talking about this whole issue about a death penalty that has been repealed. It's allowing the justice system to work. all of these are taken into consideration.
President Bio for the next 2 years is going to be leading and encouraging his peers to uphold fundamental good governance practices. As we are now in the nick of elections, could his appointments mean a tacit endorsement by his peers of his second term bid? Or is the timing coincidentally suspicious?
Well, on a very serious note, I'm not surprised at such thinking, because in the case of Sierra Leone, everything is interpreted politically, particularly in the areas of elections. I don't really want to think so that it is an endorsement per se. But the fact of the matter here is, let us not forget that the APRM is an intergovernmental organization. Just like you have the ECOWAS, there are quotas. For instance, there was a time when the president, that is the president of ECOWAS, was a Sierra Leonean handling all the finances. That is, a lot has fallen on Sierra Leone. Just like you have, for instance, the UN Secretary Generalship. It is done continental, it rotates. If we can remember, there was a time when Boutros Ghali could not complete his term, which was for Africa. That was when, of blessed memory, Kofi Annan stepped in to fulfill that gap, and now it is not in Africa, it is elsewhere in another continent. I think it's now in Portuguese.
Yeah.
So the same thing applies to the APRM. APRM is an intergovernmental. APRM is an intergovernmental organization. The leadership has to rotate among heads of state. It is just for 2 years.
So it was inevitable.
It is just a coincidence.
Was it inevitable that President Bio could have been appointed anyway?
He was going to be appointed. In fact, his appointment was not informed by our political environment. Those other heads of states are not. They did not consider that.
Oh.
They always saw him. They saw leadership qualities in him.
For Star TV News in Freetown, Alfred Barry reporting.
The district coordinator of Women's Forum Sierra Leone in the Western Area Rural District, Doris Fatima Weber, has officially launched the Wonders Sisters Social Club on the 5th of February 2022 at the Locotown Community Hall, Deep Eye Water Village in the Western Area Rural District. The club is aimed at helping to transform the lives of women and to enhance their capacities to participate in politics and to become self-reliant. Andrew Bestman reports.
Speaking at the launching ceremony, the district coordinator, Women Forum Sierra Leone, Doris Fatima Weber, said the launching of the club is on the right path, which according to her, will bring all the women at the Piawata village and its environs to have common understanding. She further encouraged the club members to work in the interest of their membership so as to promote the good image of the club.
For this bold separate and take, especially in this environment, this Dubai Water community, something like 5 years back, something like 10 years back, we all know how this area we did. Yes, so we may look at it as some kind of here, but we see the kind of infrastructure and the kind of development. And for them you see young women then get themselves together, say, let them form themselves into a group, where for begin look into a woman and girl in a business in this community. It shows say the woman then inside the western area who are listening, especially in the Piai Water community, don't begin for gain awareness.
The chair lady of the club, Mariama Kamara, explained why the club was formed and the impact the club will create in the community.
Make we decide for lunch with club today. Now for that we come to woman then go see we, let them back go admire at we. Now make for let them come on our kitchen, make them come because the community where we there, you come to the woman they not get voice, them voiceless. Then for the picking them back, let them come on our street, let them go come, let them empower themselves. Now make we decide for form this club and launch this club today. So we want we community people there, women then back then get voice now the community. Because of the money they seize advantage for them because they don't get way for talk. They don't get way for do. So now make we back decide for together we self now the community. May they know about we.
The Secretary General, Aissatou Smile Kamara, highlighted how the name of the club came into being and also explains the aims and objectives of the club.
Yes, you can say this club is a social club, yes. But also we get another part where it be for say each and every life na the Piawata will be touched. We say that we give voice to the woman then. How we go give voice to the woman then? Time there for we get for the organized women seminar dem. We dey call prominent women dem at the society for can explain to women dem how dem for run their own. Woman wey dey do business, how we for run in business. And woman wey still wey no dey do nothing, just about say na man forgive me. How we for start in life, let me self giving for some.
The Councillor of Ward 394, Mohamed Amara Kuruma, thanks the women for establishing a women's club, which according to him will create a perfect platform to transform the lives of women in the community. He further promised to always throw his support to the group.
Me as councillor, now one for we role in this, where we for they very close to we people them according to section 29 of the Local Government Act of 2004. So today I make a day out with them, for now I go create a close contact with them, for now we go see how best for develop this world and for bring unity among the women. One part they roles them, then the women they are seen at the constitution. One part them will make what trigger me as councillor for like able to come in for support them and for deal with them. That one part the thing way I seen at the constitution that for go in and talk to the teenage pregnancy, the young to them, for talk to them for the early pregnancy them, and also the target based on their funds is the way they raise. Not the only limit among themselves, but then they see that they send out within the world for support the less privileged them within the world.
The establishment of the Wonder Sisters Club is aimed at promoting and transforming the lives of women in the community and the country as a whole. Andrew Bestman reporting.
Viewers, this is the national news on Star Television, Channel 21. The Principal, College of Tourism and Travel, Umaru Bangura Esquire, has said the college has been consistently doling out brilliant students who have made impact on the business and tourism sector. He made the statement during the 20th graduation ceremony held at the YMCA Hall in Freetown. Here's a report.
The keynote speaker, Chief Ibrahim Aswari, said there is no way this nation can move forward without empowering women through education, adding that there are a lot of opportunities out there, but the level of illiteracy is the reason why development is not progressing in Sierra Leone. He continued that the graduates are to be very mindful of their attitudes as they are going into the job world.
And in our society today, all of us are grumbling about the things that happen in Sierra Leone. And there's no way this nation can move to another height if empowerment is not got around Sierra Leoneans as a whole, and especially for women. We cannot move as a nation if women are not educated. It is only when they come to be around us side by side that we can move as a nation, because there are a lot of opportunities out there, but because the level of illiteracy in our country is high, that's why development is very difficult for them. So to me, what I would say for the graduates to come to the universe is attitude. It's not amount of degrees you have. It's your attitude that you take outside that makes the difference. Because no matter what, if you're educated and your attitude is poor, then the tendency for you to succeed in the universe is to be challenging.
Education brings a lot of differences in life. When you are educated, it gives you the ability, the power to think what is right and wrong. And if you are educated, that is the room you can use to improve yourself, either financially or for looking for a better job or to even become an entrepreneur. Education gives you the platform to even increase on your self-esteem. There are gatherings today. There are people, if opportunities are given to them to even open their mouth to speak, they can't because the self-esteem is low.
Fatmata Binta Kago, graduate and president of the CTTS, said her next step is to pursue her education applied in tourism and hospitality, as she has always yearned for that, noting that tourism is the fastest way of economic growth in any nation.
A national diploma in tourism and hospitality management. The next step for me after my graduation is to pursue more tourism. I want to work in the hospitality industry, to have experience in managing hotels, and also I want to have experience in working in a travel agency and doing more tours, because tourism is a growing economy in Sierra Leone, and I want to experiment on that, as it will not only would also benefit local communities as tourists bring more revenues to local communities. Thank you.
While making his statement, Umaru Bangura Esquire, principal of the college, said it has been a long journey for the graduates, but they have finally arrived. He continues that since the inception of the college, they have been producing good results and graduates with exceptional qualifications.
And created memories that will be fondly remembered in the years ahead. Henry Ford wisely said, "Coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is a success." As we look back over the last few years, certainly there was the beginning, and thankfully there was also progress, and yes, undeniably we have been successful. Through hard work and determination, all of you have achieved something remarkable, and today you and your families and friends have the opportunity to celebrate and reflect on those achievements. I am sure you will agree with me that typically in life, you only ever get out what you put in. And in all of your cases, you have each put in a huge amount and richly deserve everything that you get out.
The ceremony climaxed with the presentation of certificates to the graduating students. For Star TV News in Freetown, compiled by Alfie Barry and read in the studio by Janet Mubezaiza.
And now to round up the national news, let's see what's happening in sport. The Brookfields United veterans have been crowned champions in a two-day gala competition in recognition of the newly appointed Director of Sport at the Ministry of Sport. Let's now join Hilton John for the details.
Thanks to Yes, welcome to the Sporting News. Now, Brookfields United veteran team has become champions in a two-day competition organized in recognition of the newly appointed Director of Sport at the Ministry of Sport. According to the newly appointed Director of Sport, Koji said he has what it takes to develop the standard sports in the country. He appreciates the competing teams who competed in the two-day competition, despite the sport journalists who were defeated in the semi-finals. Koji explained what to stand sports in the presentation of trophy and medal to the meriting teams at the end of the final at TCK Stevens Stadium.
Sporting family, thank you for gracing this occasion. Today we get only one winner, but I think everybody is a winner by this competition. The reason being, we're all one family. Under sport not divided, we're all one family. So I want to tell everybody thank you for winning against this occasion. This occasion is going to continue. Yeah, this is not the first edition of the Director's Trophy, and it will continue. As long as God will not like, and will believe, it will continue. And I think earlier on, I'll make a promise, the veterans and the play, or they're supposed to play a very important role for football development in this country. So this is one way we'll start to encourage the veterans and say they self get a very important part for playing concerning the soul. So this director will tell us before I go left now. We embrace you now and I believe say magic. And I believe say veterans can get something for offer the young one when they come. Because not all say the game was a big game, so we expect to for any grassroots they also learn from them. Yeah? So again, I want to tell everybody thank you. And again, like as I said, unfortunately there's only one winner. You know, I want to say better luck next time to MOS, NSA. I see some wonderful performances today. They make a mess by the 77 number 9 and the years. But now they don't take. So I want to say better luck next time to Ministry of Sports and NSA. But the best of my night. I want to accept this moment now for the clear say. Brookfield Veterans are the winners. now I'm going to take this singular honor for giving the trophy to captain of the Finnish
Koji.
Well, it is good because the position was vacant at the ministry. Now we have the director of sports. We hope that he will be more proactive in the ministry so that more developments will be seen within the sporting arena. Orange Mobile Company has officially signed a memorandum of understanding with Fond Premier League ahead of the restart of the second phase of the Sierra Leone Premier League at their head office. More of that will be coming up in our next news bulletin. There is big crisis between the team manager of the Sierra national team, Leon Stars, who is Babali Kamara, who is the chairman of Bo Rangers, and the Secretary General of the Football Association, who is Christopher Kamara. In the case of players should return the suitcase given to them in the AFCON after the knockout of Leicesters in the just concluded AFCON competition won by Senegal. More of that also will be coming up in our next bulletin. The question is whether it is professional for players to return their suitcase. So that's all for sports. For today's news, back to Yessi Howard in the studio.
Many thanks, Hill team, for giving us that update in the sporting world. Well, viewers, that's all we have for you in today's edition of the National News on Star Television, Channel 21. I am Yessi Ernest Hallowell. Many thanks for watching.